Coach, just as we approach another season, obviously, kind of where are you at with excitement level wise? Are you already those sleepless nights, can't wait for that first game type thing, or is it a little bit of stress? Or
it was good. It was good up until we were in Las Vegas last Tuesday for the Mountain West Conference tournament. And I didn't sleep real well Tuesday night. I thought we were playing UNLV on Wednesday, but it was just media day, so I didn't sleep much that night. But we have had really competitive practices. We've been very much challenging each other. We have 20 players on our roster. 20 have been in practice. If you take away the freshmen just because everything is thrown at them so much, there's probably a group of 12 that any 5 of those 12 you put on the floor, I think it would be a nice product for us. And there's a lot of interchangeable parts. We've come back stronger. We've come back healthier, and we're scoring the basketball. Either our defense is not very good or our offense has gotten a little better because we score a lot in practice. So I'm hoping it's the offense is pretty good. But that's a big concern of ours, is being a better defensive team this year and a better rebounding team, and that's something that we're working day in and day out on, and we have to be better on that end of the floor.
I think you've got about 5 seniors, correct me if I'm wrong, coming back. How much are you going to rely on those guys this year to kind of carry this team?
Well, they have set the tone as far as how we want to practice, how competitive we want to be, and what's our level of play each and every day. As far as where we go, as far as point contribution from them and minutes and all that, I think it's all going to work out. But we do have a good group of couple juniors who have played well for us, Dane Norman and Purvis Louder, and in our sophomore group, Lavelle Scotty, Ryan Swan, Sid Tomes, Caleb Morse, have really made progress, and that's been the help of the seniors pushing them along. So I think, again, we have a lot of different combinations to put out on the floor. We can go a little bit bigger, we can go a little bit smaller and quicker, and a better defensive group, a better offensive group. So we're still figuring that all out. We have a scrimmage coming up here this weekend, and then we have an exhibition game. So we still have, I think, we're practice 17 today, and we'll have 13 more practices, obviously, to get things fine-tuned before that opener.
Is there any one thing at this point, is it just kind of a combination of things still you're working on, or is there any one thing that's kind of catching your attention at this point that you really are honing in on?
Well, we've got to rebound, block out and rebound better. And that's one of the emphasis here the last couple of days has been. And I think we're more aggressive going to the offensive glass and rebounding the ball. But we've got to keep people off the glass because we still aren't as big as we'd like to be. But I think we're a little bit stronger. We definitely have done a good job in the weight room in the postseason last year, the summer, and the preseason. So that's one of the big concerns of us.
Well, I think it was last year we were talking about you wanting Duke in the first week of the year. Was that last year?
We wanted Duke?
Yeah.
Yeah, do we say that?
I think you did.
Okay.
I probably made it up in my own head.
Duke Community College.
They have a team?
Troy's working on that.
With the schedule you have set up in the early goings, how important is it for you as you just look at things right now to get off to a fast start and a good start in those first 4 home games?
I think a fast start and a good start with us is playing well. And then hopefully the wins would take care of itself. But Texas State, I think, won 22 games last year, was a pretty good team, and that's who we opened with. And then Canisius, I think, won 18 or so is what I've been told. So those 2 games first at home. So a little better competition maybe we've had in the past the last couple of years. So we've got to play well early and then continue to build and grow and develop from that. I think our non-conference slate overall is probably stronger than we had last year, the year before, with the teams that were playing. They had more success maybe than some of the teams we've played in the past, and hopefully that'll get us better prepared for when we get into conference play at the end of December.
You got the game at Indiana State, the Mountain West Missouri Valley Challenge. Yeah. How big is that for you guys to see where you stand across the conferences, but also just for the strength of the conference going forward?
I think both is what you're saying. Missouri State is picked this year to be the preseason top team in the Missouri Valley, and we beat them at home last year. Indiana State lost some players, but have some good players back. They scrimmaged a Big Ten team last week and beat them by 30. So that's what I was told. So that didn't make me feel good. But I think that'll be good for us to get exposure in the Midwest for recruiting, obviously, in our competition with the Mountain West and the Missouri Valley, and then also get us a gauge of where we're at, maybe in our league as well.
Coach, preseason polls are what they are.
Right.
There's something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
For you, do you feel like you've got a squad that maybe I don't know if I want to say surprised. You know them better than any of us. Any of those people picking the where you're supposed to finish.
Right.
Is this a team that can maybe turn some heads and open some eyes?
I think so. There's a lot of talk that was at the media day. Obviously, we lost 3 seniors last year. Kyle Brookhouse, who was hurt majority of the year, but Zach Coker and Hayden Graham, who were a mainstay for us the last couple of years. And Hayden was over 1,000-point scorer and 500 rebounds. And, they kept asking how do you replace him? Well, I think, we're with a group of guys we have. We have some youth, as we talked about a little bit earlier, and then some older players. But I think our point production will be spread out. I think you'll have on any given night maybe a different individual scoring leader for us. And I think our depth will be definitely stronger than what we've had in the past. With that all being said, I think we can surprise some people and not finish where we were predicted to.
Who picks up the slack, so to speak?
I think it's a group of players. I think Lavelle Scotty has made a big change. He will be on the perimeter this year, where last year he was always a sub for Frank, except the last 4 or 5 games a year we played on the perimeter. So he has developed more of a ball-handling driver, three-point shooting game than he had last year. I think we could play, a Dane Norman, a Frank Toohey, and a Lavelle Scotty together and have a really bigger team. I think you're going to have some of that sophomore class. Sid Tomes had some moments last year. And then you go back to the senior group of CJ, Trevor, Frank, and Jacob, maybe get back to where they were 2 years ago and the point production they had and they were healthier at that time. And so you throw that all into the mix, and I think we have some depth. We can play faster. We can be more aggressive on the defensive end, and we can keep more fresh bodies on the floor at times.
So last year, correct me if I'm wrong, Dane got a lot of time, and then I think he got hurt.
He got hurt. Yeah, had a high ankle sprain. He was out for the majority of the second part of the season. Yeah.
He's probably a guy I'm sure most people, A, don't know about, and B, he looks like a guy who could be 15-point.
He is, because he could play anywhere 1 through 5 on the floor. He handles the ball. He's probably one of our better passers. He can make open shots, and he's so long and lanky that he can get the offensive rebounds, and he blocks some shots. So if we can continue to keep progressing him, he's had a good preseason for us.
And I forget his name, number 12. He looked like a kid that
Lavelle Scotty.
Lavelle Scotty looked like a player who could grow into his body and be a force.
And he has really shot the ball well from the perimeter, where last year he was more of a slasher, driver, and post-up player. And now he's playing on the wing, and he's scoring the ball from 3, and really aggressive on the glass on both the defensive and offensive ends. So hopefully he'll be able to do some things for us and put other people around him.
So what can Air Force fans expect? And how far can this team go this year?
I think if we stay healthy, physically and mentally, because also, this team, we do need to get some success early, and by playing well to gain confidence. I think that's something we need to have. And if we do both those things, I think this team can surprise some people, and it can carry over where we can have some success on the road. That's been our Achilles heel, obviously, not winning those games on the road. We've been pretty good at home. We've had a pretty good home record, non-conference and conference. Now it's taking those games on the road and winning and turning those close losses into wins. We do start our conference play out with 2 road games at New Mexico and Fresno State early. So I guess the conference want to give us that option early, or that opportunity early to win a road game, right?
And Jonathan Dwayne was the guy last year.
Yeah.
You mentioned him a lot early, and then, he just kind of got lost in the mix.
Right.
How has he progressed?
He has progressed. I think with our post players, Ryan Swan has made a big progression. His body has changed somewhat. He has slimmed down, strengthened up. He has shot the ball well from the perimeter. And then Jonathan Dwayne has had a really good preseason. He's got a thumb banged up a little bit right now, but he has played well for us. So I think, if you're looking at our 5 position of Frank Toohey, Ryan Swan, and Jonathan Dwayne are the 3 guys we're kind of moving in that mix.
Okay, so then the 4, is that Lavelle Scotty?
Lavelle Scotty, Dane Norman. Right now, those guys, yes. We always had to play a smaller player in that 4 spot, a Hayden Graham, a Ryan Manning, Mike Fitzgerald going back, where they're like, 6'5", 6'4", 6'6"-ish. We've got to get that spot a little bit taller, and we got to get a little bit bigger. Scotty's 6'7", Dane 6'9", so we don't want Ryan Manning playing there. We want him to be on those 3 perimeter spots and move out, and where we can be a little bigger across that front line, and hopefully we'll be able to do that.
And you mentioned you want to play faster.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that? What changes?
Anyone can bring the basketball up the floor. Whereas it normally has been a rebound and an outlet to a guard, and then let him wait for it, catch it, and go. We've got 4 guys, if they get the rebound, just dribble it up. I mean, they're good enough that they can dribble the ball up, get us into our offense earlier, get it ahead earlier rather than dribbling it but passing it. We've done that in our preseason workouts. It's worked well so far. One team that did that in our league last year was Wyoming, 1 through 5, able to bring the basketball up, so you never knew what spots they would go into, so your transition defense was always at a question because you didn't know where they would be and where to find them. You never knew who was bringing the ball up, so they were hard to defend at times because of that. Maybe we can mold ourselves into somewhat of that as well.
There were times last year when that second group, the younger guys, frankly looked better.
Played well, yeah.
And
played well.
have they progressed the way you
They
would
have.
want to see, to
They
where
have.
maybe they can?
Yeah, they have. That's the Sid Tones and Caleb Morris and Jonathan Dwayne. For forgetting anybody, Lavelle Scotty obviously in that group, but they're very competitive. And what's been good is their relationships with the older players. It's not been one of looking over their shoulder who's going to play, but they've been together and working together and pushing each other. So that's been comforting here early.
And have you seen some some competitiveness out of the older guys because they don't want to be the one kind of lost in the mix?
Yeah. I think everybody has. If you would come to our practices, we've been louder. We talk more. We're more aggressive. Practices have been more upbeat and a little bit more challenging. Nobody wants to lose. We've been competitive in every drill we do. So there's always a winner and a loser, and the loser will run sprints or do something. And it's been good so far. But I think we're at the point right now we need to play somebody different. And we'll do that in a close scrimmage this weekend. I just think we need more film on us going against somebody who doesn't know us as well, so we can correct some things and have some reinforcement through film to do that. And I think they want to bang up on a little bit on somebody different as well.
Okay. And which of these freshmen would be the best bet to see some time?
Depends on what day you talk about. I mean, to be honest, everything else they're going through, but we have 6 freshmen. 5 went through our prep program. So they have a little bit. Charlie O'Brien is our only direct in right there, and he's going to be good in time, but he needs some time, just trying to catch up with everything. But out of that group, Keaton Van Solen, I believe we have him listed at 6'7", out of Iowa, who can play on the perimeter, who can shoot the basketball and handle it. And Chris Joyce, a 6'5" guard, we probably have a listener that's from Jacksonville, is a deep range shooter in the mold of Ryan Manning. He shoots the basketball pretty good, and those two were 2 leading scorers at the prep school last year.
Can you say who the close scrimmage is with?
Probably not. I don't think I can. It's Garney and 4 other guys from the SID office. They're a 3-point favorite as of right now.
And Jim Harper, SID office and Jim Harper.
I know who it is.
They all headband team, right?
No headband team. Purvis Louder has been wearing a headband in practice so far. Yeah, he said it makes him look better.
And there is a lot of height there. In
There
the
is some
freshmen.
height, yeah.
And then you obviously saw the young guys last year, and then the program showed some confidence in you, or the department.
Yes.
Do you feel like you have a new lease on life with some of the stuff that's looking up?
I guess I'm just excited for the year. I'm excited because our guys are the commitment they've made since last April, and what they've done this summer. Because our summers are challenging around here to get them here to work, just because of the other things they're doing. But they made a commitment on their own to make sure they were in, get workouts, lift and run and play together. So that was good. And then what we've done so far this preseason has been good. I just enjoy this time of year. Practices are more fun than games because you can stop things and change it and reorganize them and coach a little bit. And so we've had good practices. So we're just looking forward to this year. I think the Mount West will be a lot stronger this year. I think we have potential for a multiple bid league again. I think our teams up top are really good. We've had some good transfers that were sitting out last year that will play this year that will enhance maybe the top 3 or 4 teams in our league.
Okay. And who are some of the dominant personalities
On our team,
in this group? Yeah.
that senior group, Trevor. Trevor probably. Trevor kind of leads everybody. Probably Lavelle Scotty because he's just louder than everybody. Frank doesn't say 2 words most of the time, but he plays hard. CJ is probably the most lovable and likable and funniest. And then the freshmen are just following around, finding out who's who right now. But those are probably the personalities.
And did you always know Lavelle had the skill set to?
We
to
were
play
hoping
this
he would.
position?
We were hoping he would. We were hoping that we could move him out. If you look at one player in our league who played, Emmanuel Bogbo, who played at Colorado State, very aggressive, very strong inside, a double-double guy, but also was able to step out somewhat. I think Lavelle will have a better perimeter game maybe than he did. He's probably a little bit bigger than Lavelle, but we were hoping that we would be able to evolve him into a multidimensional player that could play a little bit inside out.